Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We're going to start it all off with a little bit of AEW Dynamite review. Talk about, basically everything that went down. Some pretty good stuff, pretty crazy stuff. But hey, Tony Khan feels like he has what it takes to be in the top competitors when it comes to the wrestling game. So hey, I trust the guy. We're gonna follow that up with a little bit of our Thursday night wrestling preview. This includes Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, also Impact Wrestling. And our third segment, we're going to talk about, we have our hot seat cool beans in terms of superstars in AEW who need to step it up or just kind of cool it out in terms of AEW Dynamite. So that should be exciting. And to cap it all off, we have our Sweet 16 of WW, well, not just WWE in general, but just wrestling factions, like, your favorite factions like the NWO, the Corporate Ministry, the McMahon Helmsley era, the Corporation, the Shield, on and on and on. We have so many factions. It was really hard to like actually limit down to 16. At first, I was like, you know what? I don't think I can think of 16. And the moment I started doing research, and I was like, oh, stuff. Like, I only have 16 spots. Like, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, I'm pretty excited about that. Hope you guys made your wrestling faction Sweet 16 bracket. But, before we get into that, I would, we get a number of questions during the show from viewers that, if you guys want to, if you guys want your questions to get read on air, which I would like to talk to you guys, like to, go back and forth, have conversations. I want to hear your opinions. Obviously, I am the host, but overall, the audience has the power. But, no, without being silly, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. This puts your questions up on top of the list so I can see it. And it really helps the show. A positive review leaves, it goes miles and miles and miles. Much like in life, just, the slightest kind gesture towards someone could lead to something, awesome, lead to a better world, with less hate, with less, well, this isn't, a political podcast, so it's best we move on. But anyways, the link is the gsmcpodcast.net. So, yeah, leave your questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me if you hate me. Please don't hate me. I'm just kidding. No, with all jokes aside, mate, we're going to talk about the AEW review, and I'm going to do it all today in a Australian accent. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to. That would be a huge, like, pain, could be a pain in the ass, but, obviously people from Australia would be like, oh, I can do that, no problem. And be like, hey, like, I don't have that, that and that outdoor back, like kind of, accent. But hey, I have my GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, I have that accent. So hey, let's jump on into it because we have a bunch of stuff to do and I'm just rambling on and on and on. If you want to hit the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net and tell me how much of a fool I'm making myself, that's also a possibility as well. So, I'm just kidding. No, all right. So we have the AEW review. We have Samoa Joe versus Dustin Rhodes. I kind of want to start it off with this match because this was pretty big. Honestly, this was very, very big. You kind of kind of saw a soft side of Samoa Joe. Obviously, he was hurt. He was beat down by Swerve Strickland, and then but also you see Dustin Rhodes, like he basically says he has nothing to lose, absolutely nothing. Much like his brother, who was like, "Hey, like I'm here to finish my story. I'm gonna put it all out on the line. I've been without WWE before. I can do whatever I want in the independent circuit if it all doesn't work out." So kind of Dustin Rhodes kind of hit on that. But all in all, before the match even started, Swerve Strickland jumped Samoa Joe, and I don't know. And although Samoa Joe was beat down, and although he looked really weak, he was still able to, bust open Dustin Rhodes. He had the blood going down his face and stuff like that. Like, absolutely nuts. Like, that's crazy. That's AEW, though. That's the reason why, they're PG-13 and the WWE's PG. But, not hating. Not hating. whatsoever. But he was still able to pick up the win, and that was very, very important. Like, although he looked like he was beaten down, he got, hit by Swerve. He was able to, be the professional, kind of, rise above that. And, sometimes a WWE champion or just like a champion in general, although you have the stacks against you, you know, all odds at all odds. If you're the David and like Goliath story, you're gonna rise up and you're gonna do what it takes to win that championship back, or be able to maintain your status in the given promotion or organization. So I think that's pretty cool for Samoa Joe. Next, we're going to talk about a TNT Championship title match between Adam Copeland and Penta El Zoro. So this match was actually very, very good. I watched it. It was one of the better matches in AEW according to ratings on online. But like I feel for Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland, like I feel like not that he feels like he has to put AEW on his back coming recently from the WWE, but you can tell that he cares. You can tell a lot of these superstars care. Absolutely. They look at these ratings and stuff like that, and they kind of seem like a WCW going down and or like a WWE like toppling over them. But you can tell that they care, just based on the authenticity of their matches. Like and you watch an AEW episode and you get lost. Like, although like a couple of weeks ago, the average like a little under 2,000 fans, which is pretty bad. But I don't know. I don't think it's over yet. I don't think it's over yet. Um, I really hope AEW does something to, spark the plug. But this was like a 20-minute match, back and forth. Very, very good. Like I said before, Adam Copeland was able to win it all with the spear. And, on this day, I see clearly every day. Like, and then his hit music started. And I'm actually surprised he got that from WWE. I'm surprised he got that released. But, I'm glad he did because that song is like, you know, that's Edge. That's Edge right there. That's Adam Copeland. That's the guy who created TLC. That's the rated R superstar. That's the guy who was the first to cash in the Money in the Bank and win at Revolution to beat John Cena. Which was actually pretty cool. So good for Adam Copeland. So once when the match was over, it was pretty smooth for an open challenge. Usually, open challenge kind of run like, like it's cool and all, but usually there's a superstar who just loses in like a blink of an eye. Well, of course, as of WWE standards, well, not WWE standards, as of Vince McMahon WWE standards. That's kind of how it was when it comes to like an open challenge. But I like the open challenges on AEW. I really, really do. I feel like they have some top tier matches. They have some pretty good, authentic, fundamental matches, and it keeps the fans involved, which is pretty crucial. So, I hope the best goes for that. The post match, you had the lights go out, you had Julie Hart show up. Everybody was like, "What is this girl doing here?" Especially in the men's matchup. But and then you saw the side of Brody King. Brody King came out choking out Adam Copeland, and it was kind of like kind of like a foreshadow toward AEW Dynamite, Dynasty, where Adam Copeland's teaming up with Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston to fight House of Black. So ultimately Edge was in Adam was in trouble, and Willow of Nightingale like came out and she was able to kind of even the odds a little bit. you know Brody King wanted to attack her, but he was like, "Oh, I can't. Like, you can't do the, can't do this stuff, man." So then that, like, kind of, that kind of foreshadows maybe like a mixed tag team match that's gonna happen next week, the AEW before, before AEW Dynasty. So that'd be pretty cool to see. I would love to see that. It's been a while since you've seen something like that, like a mixed tag team match or like a guy and a girl against another guy and a girl. But like you see that usually at WrestleMania, you have John Cena teaming with Nikki Bella against like the Miz and Maurice. But I don't know, it's kind of cool to see that, that bond like on a regular show to show to basis. That's they should probably make a title like that. Like I think they did in WWE. They had like a little tournament. Like all I know is Alexa Bliss was teamed up with Braun Strowman, and they were able to totally kill it. kind of like a mixed tag team like tag team championship where you have the women, you have the men, and I don't know. I think that'd be pretty dope. I think that'd be pretty cool because usually in terms of professional wrestling, like with any stable, you have like a group of guys, and there's always that one woman. There's always that one woman to kind of be like the facilitator or like the manager and stuff like that. Like kind of like Selena Vega in the LWO, kind of like Maxine Dupree in terms of the Alpha Academy. Like it'd be interesting to see like kind of like a mixed tag team match where a woman and a man could team up and win some kind of title or some kind of gold or stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. But next moving on, we had the Young Bucks. AEW wasn't fooling. They weren't Cap. They weren't, pulling our legs, and they actually lived up to the promise. They showed the footage of, what happened during All in London in terms of CM Punk and, Jack Perry. And a lot of people like, oh my God, like I've been, keeping on tabs with wrestling Twitter. And like I heard from Bully Ray, I've heard from like Mark Henry, I've heard from a lot of people in terms of the industry being like, what are they trying to accomplish here? Like, why is this happening? Like, come on, like that happened so much long ago. If you wanted to be a part of the storyline, you should have re-signed CM Punk. And CM Punk, like I see a lot of like Twitter things be like, oh, Tony Khan is a clown. CM Punk was right. AEW's bull spit. And then like I don't know, you kind of think you're like, I don't want to. You never want to really give in to the Twitter banter. If y'all listening to me, if you're in the audience right now, and if you have a Twitter and you purposely go on Twitter to trash somebody, don't do that, man. Like, come on, dude. Like we're human beings. Human beings 101. If you have nothing else to say, don't say it at all. That's absolutely of course there's fun, like little banter and stuff like that. But if you're gonna say something maliciously that, it's unnecessary, just don't do it, dude. Just don't do it. So, with CM Punk footage kind of going live, you kind of had the Young Bucks, and I heard from a source that the Young Bucks were, they didn't want to do it. They really honestly didn't want to do this promo. It was Tony Khan really promoting it and really pushing for it. And essentially, guys, like, and I'm not trying to seem too dark, but right now, Tony Khan, the Young Bucks is like literally that's all they have right now. Like that's the reason why they're the EVPs. That's the reason why they're in creative and stuff like that, which is wrong, because I feel like the moment the Young Bucks started, running the show, started being like, I don't know, it just seems like they're different. And it could be me, it could be my wrestling fan mentality, but their matches are different, their promos are different. You can just kind of see the like I don't know, they just seem uncomfortable, which makes the fans uncomfortable. And with the AEW executives running out, obviously Tony Khan wants to bring in someone he trusts. And obviously, when they started AEW, Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, et cetera, like he keeps those guys close. He keeps those guys close just so he could, have someone that he trusts. And you can't really blame that on Tony Khan. I heard he's a really nice guy, not really good boss, CM Punk. But like I really hope they pull it together, man. I really hope they pull it together for AEW, especially in terms of ratings, because WWE right now is at the absolute like best they can possibly be. So, I'm not trying to say all hope is lost because I don't want that. I like AEW. I want it to succeed because them succeeding means that WWE or Paul Levesque will dig into their bag of tricks and bring a brand new, absolute entertaining yet stunning product to the professional wrestling fans, industry. So obviously that's what I want to see. I want, you love seeing competition. But kind of moving forward, we're kind of running out of time for segment one. But like you said, CM Punk footage, crazy. Jordan Grace challenging Natalia, crazy. Natalia retaliating. That rhymed. That's crazy. No, focusing on the main point. Natalia retaliating to Jordan Grace's challenge on Twitter/X. That's absolutely crazy. You have the CM Punk footage air on AEW ground. Like, what does this mean? what does this mean as wrestling? Does this mean that AEW is absolutely desperate, so they feel like to gain fans, and in their promos they have to include WWE stars? That could be it. Absolutely, 110%. Absolutely, that could be it. Or maybe there's something happening behind the scenes, like maybe Paul Levesque and Tony Khan are finally, going to merge professional wrestling for the first time in ever. Because for the longest time, WWE didn't really want to be a part of any other wrestling organization. And that was mostly because of Vince McMahon. Absolutely. Mostly because of Vince McMahon. But Triple H kind of sees this and he's like, you know what? Because when you think about it, you saw WCW go under, you saw ECW go under, you saw Impact take a hit. What did WWE do? Who did they sign? They signed stars like Scott Steiner. They signed stars like, AJ Styles. They signed stars like, Booker T. They signed stars like Billy Kidman. And it just, the list goes on and on. And they eventually got Sting in their promos. So Triple H kind of thinks like, hey, like, at first when these guys invaded WWE, the invasion back in 2002, eventually they kind of moved into WWE creative later, down the line when the wrestlers were a little more seasoned. But honestly, you gotta get think outside the box here. Like, and I think that's why Paul Levesque is kind of like open to anything, like a merger when it comes to Tony Khan Promotions or Impact Wrestling or New Japan Professional Wrestling. Is because he knew that eventually WWE would have these stars because they're larger than life. And you can't really, blame that on Triple H to be like, oh, like, I want to bring these guys because, they're going to bring good things to our company. Like, imagine if it was done right when WWE Invasion took place, if all the stars from WCW were taken care of. What if they had good storylines? What if they had good promos? What if they had good, alliances? Or what if they had a tag team like, but they weren't. They were, absolutely, buried by Vince McMahon. And obviously, like if things went down a little different, I think WWE today would be a way better product. Obviously, you probably have Sting maybe being more than just like a gimmick. Maybe he'd be like a two-time WWE champion. Like you don't know that. And I don't know, that's crazy. I feel like Paul Levesque kind of sees the errors that happened during the Vince McMahon era, and he's like, hey, like, we kind of need to change that. Like, we shouldn't like just shut out these guys. Speaking of Triple H, Will Ospreay during the AEW Dynamite, basically kind of like gave like a personal jab at Triple H. Said the only reason why he's kind of in that promotion or kind of like in the space he is now is he was basically grinding on the boss, or Stephanie McMahon, like the boss's daughter. Obviously that's not true. Obviously that's very not true, because Triple H, like, he busted his ass, he was able to promote young talent, and it's fitting for Will Ospreay to kind of, out of frustration or out of not jealousy because he wasn't signed to WWE, but kind of like seeing all the other wrestlers getting attention, and he signed with AEW, and he's like, man, like, I kind of want the attention that like some of these guys in WWE's getting, which is good, which is what you as a WWE or as a professional wrestler in general want to do. You want to build up your brand. You want to build up a lot of audience around you, just so like knowing that wherever you go, whatever happens, you're going to get paid. Absolutely, you're going to get paid. And that, we talked about that before about like professional wrestling in general. So, you know, anyway, so like I said, the Young Bucks, they aired footage of what happened with CM Punk, and I gotta be honest, the one thing I noticed, and like I read articles about it, and like researched it like long after it aired, but the moment the Young Bucks did their thing and talked trash on FTR, they went to the broadcast booth where you saw Tony Schiavone. You pay attention to the right side of your screen, you can see it. You're gonna see him like, bro, are you serious? We just freaking did that right now? Like, who are we? Like AEW, like that could have might as well been like the nail in the coffin for AEW. I know I might have said the WrestleMania 40 might have been the nail in the coffin for AEW, but like highlighting that footage, like you can tell like so many of the superstars were against it. I heard Will Ospreay was against talking bad about or hitting like a personal jab at Triple H, but then he did it, for Tony Khan's promotion. And then the Young Bucks not wanting to do that with CM Punk, but ultimately Tony Khan pulled the trigger on that. And then now you have Tony Khan basically like it's just not good. It's just not good right now. And you can tell by Tony Schiavone, he's been part of Jim Crockett Promotions. He's been part of WCW. He's been part of Impact Wrestling. Talk about a guy who's seen everything inside and out, knowing damn well what kills an organization, what profits an organization, and what helps the wrestling business kind of just stay astray. Kind of just float on there. You get ratings, you don't. But ultimately, you're still alive. But I don't know. I saw that when they turned to Tony Schiavone, and honestly, his face basically told it all. So, good thing, I love Tony Schiavone. I want to see him and Jim Ross do something together for WWE. That would never happen unless the Forbidden Door is opened. And maybe Paul Levesque era will open that Forbidden Door. So, on that. All right. Well, don't go anywhere. Thank you for hearing me rambling on and on and on and on about, AEW. Don't go anywhere. We have our Thursday Night Wrestling preview. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor, Total Impact Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling's pay-per-view. That's going to happen at the Palms Resort Casino in Las Vegas. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Reflecting on segment one, we talked about AEW's review, also about perhaps was it smart to air that CM Punk controversial backstage footage at All In London last year. Um, I don't know, but obviously it's riled up the wrestling fans in somehow, some way. So let's get into our Thursday night wrestling preview. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to hit that tips and donations link. We get a number of questions that come in during the show from viewers like you. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, we ask you to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it, so we can talk about it. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. And I don't know. Honestly, guys, it really, really, really does help the show. Like, we love positive feedback. We love peace, love, and positivity at the GSMC Sports Network. Once again, the link is the gsmcpodcast.net. So, yeah, go and hit that up. Let's talk. But let's go ahead and dig deep into Thursday Night Wrestling preview. Let's kind of go over through Ring of Honor Supercard in Philadelphia. So the premier athletes, Tony Nese, Ari Daivari, and Josh Woods defeated Tony Deppen, Rhett Titus, and Adam Priest to get the victory at Supercard. So, just so you know that. Also, we had the All Heart Blake Christian defeat the Beast Mortis. Beast Mortis has been absolutely on a tear in his tenure with Ring of Honor. So it's kind of, it's kind of interesting to see like Christian get the victory there. So and then we have Cole Carter. Cole Carter and Griff Garrison defeated Angelico and Serpentico. Sorry, no, guys. Ring of Honor fans like out there, like just know that I love the product. I love wrestling. Although it might seem like you guys be like, man, this guy's fronting. This guy don't follow Ring of Honor. Be like, dude, like I can only afford so many streaming services. I'm just kidding. No, I'm like, bro, like I would love to see your wrestling product more and more. But instead, I'm like, oh, I gotta read reviews online, or I gotta go to the main site. I'm breaking the fourth wall of podcasting right now. Like, oh, total WWE. I'm laying a pipe bomb like CM Punk. No, I'm just kidding. But also like looking up YouTube highlights, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. I'm just kidding. No, moving on. Moving on. We had Mariah May defeating Momo Kugo. Mariah May has kind of been on a tear when it comes to Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, and also AEW. So I think they have some pretty good things out there for her. Ring of Honor TV champion retains again. You had Big Shardy Lee Johnson ultimately losing, but it was like a nice little handshake at the end. I saw highlights of that match, and I was like, honestly, this match was, dare I say it, probably the best match that happened on Ring of Honor Supercard. And I'd be like, oh, you didn't watch the other matches? No, I saw highlights. I saw highlights, but I watched this match and I paid attention to this match in general, and I thought, these two guys tore the house down, so that's pretty cool. Stardom's women's match. You had a trio. You had Empress Nexus Venus, World of Stardom champion Maika and Mina Shirakawa, and May Sira defeating the Queen's Quest, AZM, and Saiwa Kamitana, and Tam Nakano. And so that was, that's what happened there. Also, you had the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions retain. You had the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett defeating the Infantry, Sean Dean and Carly Bravo, which is pretty cool. Ring of Honor inaugural Women's World TV title, Queen Aminata falls to Billy Starks. And guys, what can I say? But Billy Starks kind of did this dirty. Like, what I mean? I watched this match. She faked that she had a championship, and generally, Queen Aminata was absolutely concerned. And she was like, "Oh my God, like, even though I'm fighting you, I need to have respect for the sport, so I'm going to be concerned." Billy Starks was able to like come out, grab her leg, and it was just like, it was crazy. But classic heel for Billy Starks. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Bullet Club defeated Suzuki Zane and Archer, and they were eventually attacked by the AEW Trios champion, the Acclaimed, and Daddy Ass. And I didn't cuss just to cuss. That's the name of the guy. His name is Daddy Ass, formerly known as Billy Gunn, formerly known as Mr. Ass from the WWF Attitude Era. So, if any of you Mr. Ass fans out there, I'm that man. But you had Dalton Castle defeating Johnny TV. I kind of knew this was going to happen because, Johnny TV was kind of being like that perfect heel. Then you have the Ring of Honor Women's Championship match. Athena defeated Hikaru Shida. Athena is currently running on beating 50 consecutive opponents and running on 500 days as the Ring of Honor World Women's Champion, creating a record. So obviously we're not surprised because Athena is very, very good. She was really good in WWE, NXT, et cetera, et cetera. Next, we have the Ring of Honor World title match. We had Mark Briscoe defeating Eddie Kingston. Honestly, guys, I like Mark Briscoe. I kind of see a lot of like Mick Foley in him. I kind of see like a lot of like Sabu, Sandman. He is ECW reincarnated. Absolutely. Mark Briscoe, his ECW, has ECW written all over him, which is absolutely badass. Like, super cool. I feel like he's the next Cactus Jack. He's about a year ago, his brother Jay Briscoe and his former tag team partner passed away in a car crash. So it was nice to see him win that Ring of Honor World Championship and the family come out and celebrate with him, which is actually very, very cool, super cool. Something like, got to get serious a little bit, and you're like, losing a loved one, it's hard. It's hard, and obviously he was DOA on a car accident that involved him and his two daughters, but I believe that his two daughters came out and unfortunately he wasn't wearing a seatbelt and ultimately Jay Briscoe, he's not here today. But Mark Briscoe, keep doing what you're doing, man. I support you. Absolutely. And your family's very proud of you. And your brother's looking down from heaven and he's absolutely proud of his brother, his big brother, I believe. Jay Briscoe of achieving the Ring of Honor World Championship, dethroning Eddie Kingston, the Mad King. But anyways, that was pretty cool. Moving on to Impact Wrestling, we had PCO versus Khan. Khan cost PCO a shot at Crazy Steve's digital media championship. And Khan also tried to end PCO's career, which is pretty crazy. And I guess like this match tonight, if you guys aren't watching it, go watch it right now. Go watch it. Well, no, don't leave this podcast. Leave this podcast like on your phone or like on like on a smart TV or like maybe like a tablet. But this is what this match stipulation is. I guess they've been in isolation. PCO and Khan have been in isolation for 12 hours on X as of like I think it was like 5 hours ago, and it's crazy. Like no food, no water, no connection to the outside world. Like this is a match that's like unprecedented. This is something that as a WWE fan, I'm like, whoa, like this is something new. This is something absolutely crazy. Like imagine putting like oh god, I don't want to go that route, so I'm not gonna do it. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, it should be super, super, super cool. So watch that. We have Moose that battled Trent Seven. Both trying to build momentum towards Rebellion. Jordan Grace, Steph D. Launder contract signing, and you also had a newly formed alliance: AJ Francis and Rick Swan fight against Ace Austin and Chris Bay. And then you had a digital media championship match between Crazy Steve and the Laredo Kid. So that should be pretty awesome to watch. But kind of moving forward to Impact Wrestling's Rebellion live at the Palms Casino Resort. You kind of have like a settle the score match between Josh Alexander and Hammerstone, a full metal mayhem match, which is kind of like a TLC match between Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. And you have the TNA X Division Championship, Mustafa Ali versus Jake Something. TNA Knockouts World Championship, Jordan Grace against Steph D. Launder. TNA World Tag Team Championship, The System, which consists of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers against Speedball Mountain, Mike Bailey, and Trent Steven. And then you had the TNA World Championship match between Moose and Nick Nemeth. So, I tried to, spit as much as I know about Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling and, all the above. Hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, let me know in the tips and donations link. But just know, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. If anybody gives me their Access TV, code so I can watch, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I just want to see you guys, here, enjoying the show. But what we have to look forward to, we have our hot seat or cool beans. AEW Dynasty version. I'll be going through some of the wrestlers that are participating in AEW Dynasty, and obviously I'll call them hot, where they have a hot hot plate under them that they should probably do something at this promotion, or cool beans, where it's like, hey, like if you win or lose, like don't worry, I don't think anything's really gonna happen. I don't think your status is really gonna change. So don't go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflecting what we talked about. Segment one, we talked about AEW review, about the CM Punk drama. Also, segment two, segueing into segment two, we talked about Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor, Thursday Night Wrestling. But our segment three is we have hot seat, cool beans. Like I said before, I'm going to go through a couple of AEW Dynamite or Rampage or Collision superstars that are going to be wrestling at basically one of the hottest pay-per-views in their organization. So hey, what can I say? But let's just
And now,
get on into it.
now, it's time
It should be
for
pretty interesting because I'm excited to talk about it. But ultimately, let's get ready for you gotta love it when technology's on your side, but not really on your side. But yeah, just kidding.
And now, it's
So
time for
all right,
sizzling
there we go.
or
There we go. Absolutely,
cool.
positively. All right, so let's get on into it. All right, so let's talk about Toni Storm. Toni Storm is obviously like she's defending her championship against Thunder Rosa. Kind of stuff went south, but ultimately, I gotta be honest. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is
It's
sizzling
sizzling.
because I really honestly think she should beat Thunder Rosa. But then you have Thunder Rosa, and once again, I believe it is.
It's sizzling.
All right. I feel like Thunder Rosa, if she wants to make it back to AEW after that injury and relinquishing her championship, and she's putting it, like, I gave up my championship, I never really lost it. You got to put your money where your mouth is. It's time for Thunder Rosa to kind of show, like, what's going on in that. For Julia Hart, I feel
It's
to
cool,
be honest,
man. It's all cool,
I think
man.
it's kind of cool here. Like, I think she's a great superstar. Obviously, I think that she has a lot of talent behind her. If she loses her TBS championship, I'm not going to be too surprised the Willow of Nightingale. But she has so much talent, and with the House of Black behind her back, I feel like absolutely she's going to continue to be a champ. Nevertheless, Willow of Nightingale.
It's
Honestly,
sizzling.
I think it's sizzling here, ladies and gentlemen. Like she's been like kind of like the anti-heel for the longest time. Right now, I know Mercedes Moné was attacked during AEW Dynamite. No one knew what it was. But honestly, I think Willow, if she wants to finally become a champion, she needs to, put all BS aside and, kind of focus on her own career and not worry about making too many friends. All right, and we have the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks. Honestly,
It's
I'm going to say it's
sizzling.
sizzling. I think it's going to be important for the Young Bucks to kind of finally establish themselves as the tag team dominance against FTR at AEW Dynasty. And with all this stuff about like them being EVPs, honestly, it's kind of driving fans away. AEW is a lot better when the Young Bucks are just tag team. I'm sorry. They're a lot better when they're just wrestling. They're a lot better when they're promoting the brand within the squared circle. So, with that. With
It's cool,
FTR,
man. It's
formerly
all
known as
cool, man.
the revival in WWE. I feel like it's kind of cool. It's absolutely kind of cool right now because you don't really have too much pressure on you. You kind of have all the pressure kind of like on the Young Bucks, especially what happened on AEW Dynamite. And they kind of came out and they kind of mitigated the situation and kind of gave fans like a breath of fresh air, be like, oh, do we have all these AEW Dynamite superstars with their heads up their asses? But hey, no, you have FTR. FTR is down to earth. Next we have Okada. Okada, like honestly, I think
It's
it's cool
cool,
here.
man. It's all
Okada's not
cool,
going to he's
man.
not going to lose to Pac. Right now, AEW is trying to promote the EVP. Also, Okada. Obviously, they spent a lot of money getting him from New Japan Wrestling, and I think whatever happens, I don't think he's going to lose. There's a 99.9% sure that he's going to win. So, next we have Pac. And once
It's
again,
cool,
I think
man.
it's
It's
cool,
all
man.
cool,
I really think it's
man.
cool. They're kind of a feud right now. Like you have Pac, an awesome, in-ring performer, and he can keep up with Kojusuke Okada. So I think that's the reason why they kind of put them together in that match, was because they can kind of match their intensity, enthusiasm, and charisma, and it's going to be one hell of a match. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the best. If this is going to be the best match at AEW Dynasty. To be all right, now we have Will
It's
Ospreay.
sizzling.
Ospreay, honestly, after what he said about Triple H, and after basically declaring that he wants to fight Bryan Danielson. Honestly, he has a lot to prove. He really, really does have a lot to prove, because he kind of has that mentality of, he was a hot free agent and WWE didn't sign him, and I feel like he's pissed because of that. I feel like that hurts his ego in a way, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Will Ospreay, but should be interesting. Honestly, Bryan Danielson,
Hold.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say
Oh, yo, it's
I'm gonna say
cool,
cool.
man. It's all cool, man.
I'm sure, he's basically accomplished everything in the WWE, in the New Japan, in the AEW, in the Ring of Honor. So I think Bryan Danielson, he's proved what he had to prove. And honestly, right now it's a perfect time for him to be like, all right, cool. I did what I had to do. All right, Adam Copeland's kind of like the same thing.
Oh, yo,
where
it's cool, man. It's
you
all
kind of
cool,
have
man.
him as the TNT champion in AEW, but at the same time, you're like, man, this guy did basically everything in WWE, Money in the Bank, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, Intercontinental United States, 7-time tag team champs with Christian Cage, World Heavyweights, WWE. This guy has nothing to prove. This guy's basically there for AEW to get ratings. He's just there, which is pretty cool. Eddie Kingston, bro, I love Eddie Kingston, but
It's sizzling.
being brutally honest, I think right now it's absolutely hot for him. He dropped the Continental Championship against Okada, and now he dropped the Ring of Honor Championship to Mark Briscoe. So you lost 2 titles, bro, in a span of 1 month. It's time to put up or shut up. He's a great superstar. I'm interested to see what he does with Dynasty. So yeah, should be interesting with that. And then we have Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe right now.
It's
To be honest,
sizzling.
and I know a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that this boy right here is
It's sizzling.
sizzling. Right now, this guy's hot. Obviously, he won the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. He needs to maintain that momentum, much like Cody Rhodes in WWE. If you lose that title in your next bout, dude, you basically lose your chance of perpetuating your name into Hall of Fame. All right, next we have House of Black. House of Black, and I gotta be honest, once again,
It's
these
sizzling.
guys are sizzling. It's put up or shut up. They constantly come out and fought Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe. They have a tag team match happening in AEW Dynasty. So yeah, honestly, you keep coming out and you keep beating up superstars. You're gonna have to show why you're determined. You know what I mean? Anyways, besides that. Next we have Samoa Joe. Samoa
It's
Joe, this
sizzling.
the Samoan submission machine. I feel like it's sizzling right now. I know right now Swerve Strickland has been absolutely beating him up. He's been beaten up a lot. But AEW Dynamite or Rampage stars, they don't take a day off, kind of like WWE champs do. Samoa Joe is out there every night busting his ass, and it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It leaves him vulnerable to be beaten. So it should be interesting with that. And my boy,
It's
Swerve Strickland,
sizzling.
dude, it's sizzling. It's hot. It's red hot. It's to the point where you had a chance to face him, and you keep coming out night after night, week after week, attacking Samoa Joe, the AEW World Champion. You need to do something about it, because I feel like if you don't beat Samoa Joe at AEW Dynasty, I feel like you're done. You shouldn't deserve a title shot. You shouldn't deserve to be even considered in the title picture. So honestly, I don't think this is kind of like a put up or shut up moment for Swerve Strickland. I love Swerve, but honestly, this is something that's something that's gotta would do. This is something that's gotta change. Swerve, if he wants to make a killing in the professional wrestling industry, he has to beat Samoa Joe at AEW Dynasty. So, hey, if you agree with me, awesome. If you disagree with me, hit me up on a GSMCpodcast.net and tell me why. Tell me why. nothing but I'm just kidding. Anyways, don't go anywhere. We have our Sweet 16 wrestling factions. I'm going to go through 16 wrestling factions. This ranges from the Horsemen, NWO, D-Generation X, The Shield, etc. And we're going to come down to one final winner, one final person from the Sweet 16. People, I feel like this segment can kind of relate to any wrestling fan out there from the 80s and 90s, 2000s. So I'm excited. And y'all should be excited. So let's get on into it when we come back.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome to our Sweet 16 of wrestling factions. Just to let you know, this is going to be pretty hot. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited to kind of talk about this because I was a huge wrestling factions fan, kind of growing up during the WWE. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and hit that segment right there. Meow. And let's talk about our first two competitors. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm just kidding. No, I'm not biased. I love Triple H and Shawn Michaels, but I guarantee you that I will not be biased during this Sweet 16 wrestling factions. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'll try not to be biased. I swear to God. First, we have the Shield. We have Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. Obviously, they're amazing singles competitors, but let's see who they're facing. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, we have the Freebirds, the fabulous Freebirds. We have Michael Hayes, Buddy Roberts, Terry Gardy, and Jim Gervin. Obviously, they ruled the tag team division for the longest time in NWA, AWA, and Jim Crockett promotions, and they were known as the Freebird rule here. So picking between the two, that's so hard. That's so hard because I'm a modern wrestling fan, but to be brutally honest, and I know y'all are gonna hate me because you might think it's biased, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Shield. The Shield. That's because, dude, it's a freaking Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is, he's on the list of the best. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my bracket here. He's 1,316 days. That's all I need to say. Just kidding. No, seriously, that's all I need to say. All right. So our next bout, we have Evolution. Evolution, Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista. They did wonders for the Ruthless Aggression era, putting over John Cena. They were pretty hot, man. They were very hot. And Randy Orton eventually he got turned on, and then you got Dave Batista eventually fighting Triple H and doing all that. But when they were together, absolute dominance. Who are they gonna fight? Boom, 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 boom. Oh man, we have the cabinet. We have John Bradshaw Layfield with Orlando Jordan, the Basham brothers, Amy Weber, and Julian Hart. Oh shoots. JBL's a phenomenal. He's a phenomenal person on the mic. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He was Bradshaw during the Attitude Era, but Triple H, man, I don't think he was able to beat Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, Ric Flair. Honestly, I'm going to go with the winners. I'm going to say WWE's Evolution moves on and moves past the cabinet featuring JBL. But, you shouldn't hang your head low. Obviously, JBL was pretty dope. But Evolution is a mystery. Full of James Jordan. I don't know. Every single time Motorhead sings a Triple H song, it's pretty awesome. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next bout in our Sweet 16. Oh shoot, we have the Hart Foundation. the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Brian Pillman, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Jim the Nivell Hart, and also the British Bulldog. Man, can anybody beat these guys? Honestly, these guys are, if y'all are paying attention at home, these are kind of my favorites to end up in the finals. Spoiler alert! Just kidding, no. I'm not trying to sound too crazy. But let's go ahead and see their opponents. Boom, 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 boom. The corporation, you have Tess, Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, the Big Boss Man, The Rock, Ken Shamrock. Obviously, during the Attitude Era, these guys were like a big deal. And it was like, don't cross the boss because you had all these guys breathing down your necks. You had The Rock as a world heavyweight champion. You had the Big Boss Man as a hardcore champion. Oh, man. The final boss. This is what happens when you mess with the final boss. No, I'm just kidding. To be honest, like I said before, I can't fight it. I can't act like I don't love the Heart Foundation because, boom, the winners are the Heart Foundation. The best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be. Bret Hart has obviously left an impact onto wrestling just in a whole. Obviously, I feel for their family in terms of Owen Hart, his tragic passing, but obviously the best for their family. But moving on, we have our next bout, which is who's the next bout? Oh shoot! Might as well give them the championship right now. I'm done with this. I'm done with this list. D-Generation X wins. It's over. I'm just kidding. No. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? If you don't, I got 2 words for you. No, I can't say that on air. Can I say that on air? This is PG. Can I say? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to chance it. But D-Generation X was awesome. D-Generation X, time and time again, if it was the late 90s, the early 2000s, to 2007, where he reunited with Shawn Michaels. I don't know. DX was like absolutely crazy. And to be honest, I don't know anybody who's gonna go, gonna compete with that. Oh no. Oh no, we have the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. Legend versus legend. Triple H, Undertaker, Shawn Mike. Oh man. Oh, this is so hard. When I put this together, I kind of have the mentality like DX is gonna beat this easily. But to be honest, the moment I put it on screen, I was like, shiz. Can I do the Undertaker? But honestly, you had the Undertaker, Farouk and Bradshaw, Viscera and Minion, and then you had the Brood, which consists of Gangrel, Christian, and Edge. But out of all them, I think Edge and the Undertaker are the only really ones that kind of made a name for themselves. Of course, you had Bradshaw. Bradshaw was pretty dope. But he did not have half the title runs that Shawn Michael has. Obviously in DX you had Road Dogg, X-Pac, and the Billy Gunn were kind of like that like moved them to the side. But then you had China, the ninth wonder of the world. So hey, hate her to love it, but the winners of this match is going to be D-Generation X. Are you ready? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you think you can tell us what to do? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you think you could tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Yeah, DX is a lot better. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next bout. Next bout. Bum, 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 bum. We have Camp Cornette. Camp Cornette. Camp Cornette was cool. I like a little old school. You had Owen Hart, Vader, Yokozuna, and the British Bulldog teaming up. Of course, at the time, there were, obviously you had Jim Cornette Promotions. Jim Cornette did a lot of time with the WWF, WCW, and he did a lot for TNA Impact Wrestling. So, obviously, he's absolutely someone who should be recognized. I feel for him. I think it's pretty super cool. But, ultimately, I don't know. Like, let's see who he's fighting next. Boom, 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 boom. I know I keep saying that, but I don't mean to annoy you guys. But we have the Wyatt family. Oh man, am I biased because of the Wyatt family and I love Bray Wyatt? Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. You had Bray Wyatt, guys. Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. Uh, Four amazing individuals. Obviously, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper's not with us today. We wish the best to their families. But this when the Wyatt family came in. When the Wyatt family came in, it was absolute chaos. Like they attacked John Cena, they destroyed CM Punk, Nexus, The Shield. These guys were like a force to be reckoned with, and these four behemoths absolutely like killed it. But oh man, but then you had Vader, Yokozuna. In themselves, those two guys could probably take on the whole Wyatt family. And I don't want to seem like I keep picking teams that are more like my era, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the people who come out victorious is the Wyatt family. Oh, hate me. Please hate me. Send me a message on the Tips and Donations link at the GSMC Sports Network. Tell me how much you hate me. But no, honestly, the Wyatt family, they did really, really well. They really, really did in this thing we call WWE life. And just they're all idols because of it. So yeah, moving on. Next we have bum 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 bum. The Nexus. Ooh, this was a good one. I liked seeing the Nexus because it included David Otunga, Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, um, Chris Sheffield, Darren Young, Wade Barrett, and Mason Ryan. So you had a lot of, and to be honest, you got to think of Nexus in this way: that if it wasn't for Nexus, I don't really believe that there would be like an NXT, because I feel like the reason why they created NXT was for these young superstars. Was the reason why these young superstars don't have to keep coming out and disrupting matches on Raw or SmackDown, or pay-per-views for that matter. So this is the dawning of NXT right here. I know a lot of people don't believe it, but the Nexus, the moment they brought in the Nexus and everybody was everybody, all the fans were invested on these new guys coming in and attacking CM Punk, John Cena, and just basically, I think it was Randy Orton, Batista as well. It was kind of like a new generation versus the Ruthless Aggression era. And I feel like the Nexus was a way that they kind of did that. But let's see their opponents. Oh, the NWO. That's just bad booking right there. That's just bad booking because I really like the Nexus. I really, really do. But the NWO is the NWO. Oh, the hardest decision I ever had to make. Oh my God. This is like picking between my two children. I'm just kidding. No, no, but this is honestly, I think the winner is going to be the NWO. Fanaya. No. Like this is like the NWO was like a rite of passage when it comes to like WCW. Also, when they invaded into WWF/WWE, this is like someone that like you had Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. All three of those guys came from WWE. They came from Vince McMahon. And then you had Eric Bischoff on his high horse at the time trying to win during the Monday Night Wars, doing anything in their power. You had both Bagwell, you had Conan. Who else do we see on the screen? Is that the Ravishing Rick Rude? Like you can't, and then the NWO Wolfpack, which included Lex Luger, and Sting. Like the NWO is like you can't compete with them. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if these guys wind up in the finals with the Hart Foundation. So, like, obviously good for them, the NWO, and to kind of kill it all off. And I don't want to receive too much scrutiny here, and to kind of finish. It's 9 p.m., so I think this is perfect time. We have the Radicals. Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Benoit. I'm not trying to, push any buttons here. I'm not trying to make this a podcast about, controversial subjects. But these guys were talented. When these guys were in the ring, you paid attention. Eddie Guerrero, absolute legend. Chris Benoit. That's what I'm really gonna say. Dean Malenko, it's a submission machine. He's kind of like a Samoa Joe. Perry Saturn was kind of like the muscle, kind of like the Batista, the Evolution era. And these guys, the moment they came to WWE, they flourished. And if it wasn't for Vince McMahon throwing all these guys from ECW, WCW under the bus, they wouldn't be surprised to see that Dean Malenko would still be wrestling in WWE or being like, he's backstage. He's backstage. He helps with talent. Obviously, they keep him around for a reason. So I really like the Radicals when they came. And like I said, Eddie Guerrero also, like, this is like, I included the Radicals because you just can't ignore the impact that they made on WWE or WWF. And I have them against the Four Horsemen. Did I do this on purpose to kind of please fans that I don't have to keep talking about Chris Benoit? Maybe. No. But you had the Four Horsemen. Obviously, you had Ric Flair, Arn Anderson. You had Lex Luger. You also have Ole Anderson, Kurt Hennig, Truly Bouchard. You had Sting eventually, and also Sid Vicious, like, further down the line. But I don't know. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can't really compete with the Four Horsemen. So obviously the winner is going to be the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen, they did what they did, and obviously they left a huge imprint onto the WWE. We're running out of time, so I wasn't able to finish that last match for the Sweet 16 of WWE factions. But you know what they say, always leave them wanting more. So I hope you guys tune into my next podcast. It's going to be tomorrow, same time. Who would have thunk it? No, I'm just kidding. Who would have thunk it? Everybody would have thunk it. Anyways, so hope you guys like my show. It's pretty dope. I had fun talking to you guys as much as I hope you guys had fun talking to me. Once again, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to like and subscribe, and show me your best Superman punch and punch that. There's that thumbs up there. You don't want to. You want to break that thumb, dude. Break it. No, I'm just kidding. But leave a positive review at the GSMC Sports Network. We love peace, love, and positivity, baby, all the way. Also, we invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Once again, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have Sam with baseball, Kenneth on football. We also have the Andrew Tate show, where he's there with Faith, like totally killing it, talking about the sports entertainment industry's hottest topics. If you want to hear some hot takes, if you want to be entertained, make sure you tune into that. Besides that, just tune into the GSMC Sports, not even sports, like we have just podcast after podcast after podcast. We're a pretty big conglomerate, so if you don't want to miss out on all the action, just give us a look at the GSMC, podcasting network. But, that's it for me. I'm your boy E here. And just remember to thank you again for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. And, hey, have a good day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work.